Hey guys, first of all, thank you so much for all the comments, the likes, because the comments are really creating this content, things that you guys want to know about. So we had our first day in prison. We went to the commissary. We found out about the laundry and what that means. And I remember just about at that point, after I had gotten acclimated, the few days, being in the pretrial detention facility at Wyatt, somebody asked me if I wanted to work in the kitchen. And I was like, wow, maybe I might work in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about, because I had some kitchen experience, but it never materialized. But the thing that you need to think about when you go to prison is a job. You know, a job is a big thing. In pretrial, not so much, because there was only a few jobs. You could work in the laundry. You could work in, the kitchen. You might be able to work in the law library. But when you get to federal prison, everybody has to work. It's mandatory. Per policy, you have to work. And everybody always says, oh, it's 30 cents a day or 10 cents a day, whatever the money is. It's not really about the money. Some factory jobs, actually, you could actually make like a couple of $100 a month, you know. You could actually, acquire some money from actually working in the factory. And if you have longevity, it's a big thing in the factory. You could actually make pretty good money. You also make good money like working in the store, in the commissary, the laundry as well. That's all run by the trust fund, and you can make some money that way as well. But a lot of people like me, we kind of wanted a no-show job where you only had to go there for a second, check in, go there and report to your boss. Later on in my bid, I started to start doing a lot of housekeeping, as you probably would call it, housekeeping. So orderly, like a unit orderly. But the jobs that are the best paying jobs are the factory, if there is one at your institution, Unicor they call it. And they had furniture factories, believe it or not, textile factories, printing factories. In Petersburg Medium, I remember there was a factory that rebuilt car parts, maybe carburetors, starters, stuff like that. So there were some, pretty cool things you could do and learn, actually, if you really wanted to work and actually make money. I kind of liked the no-show jobs for a long time, or just jobs that put me in a really good position, like compound. When everybody was off the yard, I would go out there with a little pooper scooper, and I get paid, whatever. I probably got paid. I had jobs that were decent paying jobs for jail, and then I ended up, like I said, housekeeping, becoming an orderly. I got real good at like stripping and waxing floors. And that was kind of my selling point. Every time I got to another institution, I would tell the ward and say, listen, I'll do all your floors for you. It's kind of a way of creating a rapport with the guy at the top at the jail, So, and I enjoyed doing it. It was like therapy for me. I used to take a buffer and I used to go down a hallway by myself and just, shine a floor. And it was therapy for me. Sometimes I'd listen to my headphones. Sometimes I wouldn't, But I just kind of like the solitude of it, and making something shine, right? You just figure, being a productive part of something, it had an allure to me. So other jobs that I had in prison, where I worked in the chow hall, and I would just clean 5 tabletops. I remember in Leavenworth, my first job really was I cleaned 10 tabletops. That was after. I was standing in a unit in Leavenworth, and the officer said, hey, grab them boxes for me. And I'm like, I work in the kitchen. I'm not an orderly. He goes, yeah, well, grab them boxes. I'm giving you an order. I said, I'm not a worker. I was real resistant to authority at that time, But I ended up going to the lieutenant's office, and the lieutenant said, hey, listen, when an officer asks you to do something, do it, I go, but it's not my job. And he said, well, listen, just, you're going to end up getting in trouble if you don't, So kind of had that talk with the lieutenant. He was like real understanding. He was cool, And he was like, just, if I offer that, and then in the future, if he asks you to do something and he's asking you for a hand and you're there, Oh, as a matter of fact, it wasn't the kitchen that I was working in. I was orderly, but a utility orderly. They put you on this position in Leavenworth. That's what it was. I was a utility orderly until I got a job. So when he asked me, he goes, what's your job? I said, I don't know. I don't have a job. I just got here. But I was lying. I knew what my job was. I was just being, kind of a dick to him. But so I ended up getting a job in the kitchen, and then I would just, wipe a few tables down and leave, right? So what happened as I progressed over in Leavenworth, I got a job, stayed in the kitchen, but I went back and I did the butter and the jelly. So for brunch on Saturday and Sunday, we used to have brunch. I would, put out all the butter and jelly and just put them all on hotel pans and get them ready for the weekend. But a lot of these jobs, sometimes you're not getting paid money for them, like a lot of money, but you have great perks. And I had this officer in the kitchen, and I used to take back vegetables every day to make my food. I would take back stuff from the kitchen, just enough for myself, and he would help me put it hide it on me. He would give me saran wrap, put it around my waist, and, he helped me get through and, just have enough for myself. Now, some people try to rob and make money off it. It's another hustle. A kitchen hustle is a huge hustle in jail. But we already talked about the laundry. We already talked about working in the store. So there's other orderlies in the back that work in the counselor's office, cleaning the middles where the offices are. And sometimes the warden has an orderly. Sometimes, the lieutenants have orderlies. So, and everybody says that, a lieutenant's orderly, always kind of giving information. But, it's just a negative stereotype. I mean, depends. I mean, the people that give information in prison for real, on the real tip, everybody's like, look, he's talking to a cop. You never see them. You know what I mean? They'll do it on a phone. They'll go around when everybody's going somewhere else, and they'll bob and weave. It's not the guy talking to the cop in everybody's face. It's usually not the case. It's usually they go around, kind of an end and around play when people aren't looking. But this gets stereotyped. So that's it. So you got to have a job in federal prison, not so much in pretrial. You could, right? And you probably ate pretty good in Wyatt if you worked at the kitchen. But all laundry, you got to do maybe your laundry, not inside the bag, out of the bag. But there's a million jobs in prison, and everybody has to work per policy. And I thought my favorite job that I had was just working as a unit orderly, cleaning, making sure everything was, neat and orderly, and I always did the cops office, and especially in Lewisburg, I would do the cops office, and that's the one that would tell me hey, listen, tell these guys put that stuff away, they're coming up from so I always had the inside scoop. I wasn't doing nothing at Lewisburg. I wanted to go home, but he gave me enough of the inside scoop where I could keep everybody else out of trouble as well. Because if one person got in trouble, we all got in trouble. But that's it.